Welcome to Battle Soup, Battle Keto Soup. Today, the challenge is to make 2 different large pots of soup simultaneously. We'll see if I don't forget something or add it in the wrong pot. I am going to make a meat soup and I am going to make broccoli cheddar. Now, which one is going to get done first and which one is going to taste better? Oh, you have to stick around. We're going to find out. Hi, this is RJ. Welcome back to Keto Over 50. The more I sweat, the bigger my hair gets. It's going to be really big today. Okay, this is what it looks like, the before. We're going to put the green pan slow cooker on simmer, and I'm going to try and do these simultaneously. What do you think? Oh my goodness. I think this is probably the craziest thing I've ever attempted to do, but I have everything prepped, ready to go ahead of time. I'm using chicken that I already cooked. I'm totally off of rotisserie chicken now because I found out it has carrageenan in it, which is a carcinogen. So I am using roasted chicken that I made in my air fryer, that always throws me when the timer goes off. Okay, so we're going to start with onions. And guess what? Those are going into both of these soups. Kind of even Steven. I think a little bit more in the meat soup. I thought this challenge would really be exciting and really be fun for everyone. We just have to see what's going to do, which one's going to be better. So that when you start cooking at home, you don't have to worry. You're going to say, RJ said this is the winner. So stick around. We're going to see which soup wins Battle Keto Soup. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in both of these pans, just a little bit. And we're going to saute some onions. And then I have some surprise ingredients. Sometimes I'll use Italian sausage, but I'm not doing that today, but I am using something that's a little bit crazy. And we'll see that in just a second. It's funny, my green pan slow cooker heats up to 400 degrees, boom, in just a heartbeat. So the onions in this one are already almost clear, and the ones on the stove on my Radiant cooktop are lagging behind. So that kind of makes a difference. I chose to put the broccoli cheddar soup in the stovetop and the meat lover soup, the meaty soup. I made meat lover soup before. Okay, what we have here is diced uncured pancetta. And I love to add this to soups and dishes where it's going to be able to impart a great deal of flavor. When you're making soup, there are a lot of variations, as you can imagine, some of this and some of that. So I'm looking at my ingredients and I'm thinking, these could really go in either soup, even though I'm going to be pure about the broccoli cheddar. It's going to have broccoli and cheddar, but I diced up 2 small zucchini and I'm thinking I could put this in either soup. It would work beautifully. I pre-cooked the broccoli. You can see it's sweating a little bit. Oh my goodness. And one of the things that I did that's very special is I separated it. I had some really perfect looking florets. Let's see, there we go. Some really perfect looking florets. I cooked them evenly in separate bowls, but I'm going to puree these. I didn't drain them because we can use the chicken stock I cooked them in. And then these will be for a garnish, which will be really nice. They were just little perfect little trees. Look at that. So cute. Before the pancetta gets going too crazy, I'm going to add a pound of grass-fed ground beef. And I buy the 80-20 or the one with the most fat I can get in it. And that should help the pancetta to calm down a little bit. And I'm going to add a package of diced ham. I just love to put a lot of protein in my soup. If you don't like a lot of protein, you can make a soup that's heavier on the broth. You can do whatever you want to do because it's something that you want to like for yourself or your family. Which soup do you think is going to win as far as ease and taste, how easy it was to make a big pot? I hope I have enough containers to put this all in the freezer. It's going to last me maybe till winter. We're going to have to see that. I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of Better Than Bouillon base, which I really like, into the cream of broccoli soup. I took it off the stove because it was getting a little too hot, a little too quickly. So, did you see that? The water went everywhere, all over my cooktop. Are you surprised? I don't know why it splashed out like that. I also have boxes. That's good. I also have boxes of chicken stock, low sodium chicken stock that I'm going to use. Okay, now I'm turning this down to 325 because it's really sizzling, but I want to get that ground beef cooked. And I'm not breaking up the ground beef a lot. I don't mind having, chunks about this size in the ground beef when you're eating soup. It's a nice spoonful. It will break apart a little bit more, even without any effort. Okay, so let's put the broccoli. Are you confused yet? Let's put the broccoli in the broth. So we've got onions and broccoli and chicken stock. There we go. Now, if you didn't want to make the broccoli ahead of time in the microwave, you could cook it in the chicken stock in the pan, right like that. Okay, now I'm going to add the chicken. And this was about 2 chicken breasts left over. I had only eaten a little bit of them. And of course, that doesn't really need to cook anymore. So we're just putting it in there. So the soup is nice and meaty, and it's got the pancetta. I'm going to mix this up and put some of the green onions, sliced green onions, in the meat soup. We have to call it something, don't we? Instead of meat soup, meaty, hearty, meaty keto soup. And then I'm going to put all of the zucchini, the meat soup. Look at all my bowls here. This one I'm going to save. Gosh, that went everywhere. This one I'm going to save to garnish the broccoli cheddar soup. The challenge was to do all of this in an hour, 1 hour or less. And I don't even think it's going to take that long because I pre-cooked some of the elements. Oh, gosh, that's hot still. I don't know if these bowls are allowed to go in the microwave. I don't think I'll do that again. And I was out of celery and out of parsley. So it is. So I will use a little dehydrated parsley. And I always measure into my hand so I don't put too much in there, just a little splash of color. I'm going to add a little more, or some base that I put in the broccoli soup, in the meat soup. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon of the beef base. My mother taught me add beef base to every soup, even chicken soup. It just adds an extra richness, and you can't even identify what it is when it's in a soup. It just adds to the flavor. So when you eat someone else's soup, you wonder why it doesn't have as much flavor. So you see how quickly those both came together? Now keep in mind, I pre-cooked the broccoli, so that was a little bit of effort. And then I pre-chopped everything for the meat soup. That just sounds so archaic, so Fred Flintstone-like. This has a lot of flavor. By adding the pancetta and the ham, the roasted chicken, and the ground beef. So I'm going to add a little bit more, the rest of this box. So that's 2 boxes, 32 ounces each, and that's 4 cups of the chicken stock. And there's beef stock in there, beef base, and chicken base. So it will have lots of flavor, and there will be lots of soup. I want to tell you this. There was a night this week I just didn't feel like cooking, and I found one of my bigger containers of a soup I made. I think it was my Italian meat lover soup because there was sausage in it, Italian sausage and ground beef, and I heated that up and it was so good. And I loved because it had chicken in it, and it had ground beef, and it had Italian sausage, and it had some vegetables. It was a beautiful color. That's the one that I finished off with heavy whipping cream and a can of crushed tomatoes. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen that video yet, maybe I'll tag it at the end of this video and let you know just, oh, how incredible it is. You know, I have another pan just like this, only it's deeper. I should have used it because I'm thinking about how I'm going to blend this with the stick blender. And I'm predicting it will go everywhere if I do that. So I'm going to have to put that in a bowl to blend it. I make more work for myself. It's not that hard. You saw these come together in like just 10 minutes less even. And, you know, even prepping everything, dicing up the vegetables and getting the meat in nice bowls, it really only took about 20 minutes. This is a keeper. And when you have it in the freezer, it's only going to take you 2 minutes to heat it up and have a great soup for dinner or lunch. Okay, I have my slow cooker set at 200 degrees. Just steep till the vegetables are done. Look at that, it's so beautiful. I like it when it's colorful and has lots of meat in it. And I need to thicken the cream of broccoli, the broccoli cheddar soup, and I want to make the cheddar sauce for it. If you just add cheese to this, it's going to clump. So I'm going to take some of the hot liquid and mix it. And I have some bamboo flour here, which is really amazing. You only need a little, and it's 0 carbs. So rather than thicken something with regular flour, which we're not allowed to have on keto, you can use bamboo flour and it will help to thicken it. You can also use a little xanthan gum, and we'll see if it needs that. Okay, I've turned, oh God, that's hot. I almost lost the whole thing. Oh my goodness. I grabbed it down where the hot soup is. I'm just going to try and get some of this hot broth off of here. And I turned the stove down to low. I really just want the hot broth in here for starters. This is like making a roux where you use, you know, you do that if you're making turkey gravy at Thanksgiving time. Okay, so you can see what I have here. I think you can see. I do make myself laugh, that's for sure. Okay, and I'm going to do this over here in case some spills out. I measured 4 tablespoons of the bamboo flour. I like the way I'm doing that backwards, huh? So I'm going to put in, let's see, 5 heaping teaspoons and mix it up in here. It blends very well. Can you see that? Let me make sure you can see that okay. Blended beautifully. And I'm going to put it right back in there. And you can see there's no clumps in the bottom of the cup. You know, another way we can thicken this is with some riced cauliflower. So I have a bag and I'm going to split it between the 2 soups. So it'll be in both of them. It will really help both of them to become a little thicker. But you'll never even taste it in the soup. It's very neutral. Okay, now I'm going to add this back to the soup because I'm going to make my cheese sauce. And I'm going to start with some butter. Okay, so I have about 4 ounces of butter, and I'm going to put that. You don't want to get it too hot because you will burn the cheese. You see how this guy's doing. Just beautiful. And when you talk about battle keto soup, you know, this is done. All it has to do is cook. Oh, I need to get my whisk out for the cheese sauce. And I have this on medium low. This is going to be so good. I do want to put just a little bit of xanthan gum just to make sure it really does thicken up. There we go. So I put in a 7-ounce bag of extra sharp, and now I'm putting in about 1.5 cups of the Mexican style blend, only because I had it. And this is where I add the heavy whipping cream, and you just want to gently blend these together till you have a nice creamy sauce so it's not sticking to anything. And you really do need to use a wire whisk on this. You really do. Otherwise, a fork or a spoon, it's just going to clump. You can see that's a little thick. We could use a little more. Okay, I forgot to blend the broccoli while I was waiting to do this. I wanted to get the cheese sauce done. And you know what? I still haven't seasoned anything yet. So I'm going to get caught up. This is why I called it a battle, because things are going to fall between the cracks when you're doing too many things at once. And I wanted to see if I could do this, if I could do 2 soups at once. And I'm going to love it when I have soup and I didn't have to make it, right? Okay, so I'm going to turn this way down to low while I use my stick blender. I can't believe I did that without getting it all over myself. Okay, and I'm going to give this a little stir, turn the heat back up. That really only took about 30 seconds. And I'm going to add this a little bit at a time so that I don't get clumps. That bamboo flour, if you haven't tried cooking with it yet, you should give it a shot. I'll put a link for it down below in the description. When you need something that's really smooth and creamy, it really helps. It's like 21 carbs and 21 grams of fiber. It's amazing. And I'm glad I'm putting it in a little at a time. And as I do, I can turn up the heat just a little bit. It's still at medium low. You don't want this to burn. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Which is more high maintenance? Which one is harder to concoct and create? This one you put everything in and leave it alone. This one needs a little more maintenance along the way. The prep on this took a little more to get everything cut up and ready to go. But this one, wow, that's fabulous. Okay, and I still haven't seasoned anything yet, so that's next. Now, with the meat soup, I don't really want to put a lot of salt in there because it has the pancetta and the ham. Let's move that into the shot. That's pretty salty already. So I'm going to use just some salt, just a little. And you know I love my pepper, so we're going to put in a lot of pepper. And I really like the fine ground. I also sometimes use fresh. I have right here that I can grind right as I want, but I like the fine ground. And then just a kick, a little bit of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, which is more pepper. Yikes. And because I have 2 kinds of onions in here, I don't think it needs onion powder or really anything else. Now, should I put crushed tomatoes in here and heavy whipping cream and finish it off like I did on that soup that I had this week? It was so good that way. You can look, the chicken's cooked, the ground beef is cooked, the other meats are in there giving just an armload full of flavor. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so that's going to cook a little bit more. And this guy is done. It's hot, it's blended, it's thick, it's creamy. It could cook and reduce just a little bit more. Who do you think is the winner in Battle Keto Soup? Which one did you think was going to be harder to make? And which one do you think is going to be better? So I decided I'm going to go ahead and add a can of crushed red tomatoes. Now I know that boosts the carb count a little bit. It's 4 carbs, 1 gram of fiber. So 3 net carbs per quarter cup. And you're not eating a whole quarter cup of it. You're having like 8 ounces of soup. And this is probably just a few tablespoons in each serving. And I'm going to add about a half a cup. Oh, maybe a little more heavy whipping cream. I'm going to leave the lid off of this for a little bit so that it can thicken. Did you see what I did? I said it's time to season the soups. I seasoned this one and not that one. Now, because the broccoli cheddar soup only has stock in it, it doesn't have all that seasoned meat, it's going to need a little more salt. So I'm adding that. I will put the recipe down below in the description, and notice, put an annotation. That's a big word, sorry. Put an annotation on the side so you can see as I'm going what I'm adding. But you know, here's the funny thing. You see, I don't measure much. I kind of go, I would have called my channel See to Your Pants Keto. I think it was taken already. So I just like to look at this and figure it needs more of that or less is bad. you never want it to need less salt. So always err on the side of being super conservative, and you can always add more. But if you add too much, then you have to add like another box of stock and another chicken breast before you get it going normal. Another winner. Soup is really hard to screw up. So I think that's why I like it so much. It's just really hard to mess up a good pot of soup. Even though everything in this is pretty cooked, the zucchini could use a little more time. Welcome back. Everything is ready to serve. I have to tell you, I got stumped a little bit with my big meat soup. It just needed something. So I added a little bit of Italian seasoning, and I added a little garlic powder, and you'd be surprised. Just a few little spices like that was what it was missing, brought it right back up. So it's fantastic now, and it's been simmering. Okay, this was Battle soup. Look at this. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But that's because it's been cooking for almost 2 hours. And the broccoli cheddar soup, as you saw, was finished before I had to break away. So it came together. Aside from I microwaved the broccoli, that took about 4 minutes for the big bowl and 4 minutes for the little bowl. I'm going to take the little bowl of beautiful, perfect broccoli florets and stir them in. Rather than use them as a garnish on top, they'll look really pretty and be nice and warm when they're mixed in with the rest of the soup. Every once in a while, you'll get a bite of a little piece of broccoli. It'll be so lovely. You know, when I designed Battle Soup, I thought, well, it's probably going to be neck and neck, because they each take a little bit of time to make. But I mean, when it comes to time, the cheddar broccoli wins hands down. I threw that together in less than an hour. My meat soup, you saw the ingredients beforehand. I caved and I gave it a little bit of Italian seasoning and a little bit of garlic powder. And I think they're ready for a big taste test. What do you think? Okay, so I got a red bowl. My red bowls, I have about 8 of these, and I'm going to put some of the meat soup. I want a big piece of chicken and ground beef in here and a little bit of stock. Oh, I also added a little bit of bamboo flour in this one because I just wanted it to thicken up a little bit. And then I have my green bowl for my broccoli cheddar, so I don't get confused. I have it all color coded. Okay, that's not going to work. I need my ladle. Didn't want to cross-contaminate anything. So I've got my ladle here. So broccoli cheddar wins as far as time it takes to make a soup. Oh, it just looks so good. Look at this. I'm going to need 2 spoons. Voila. Thanks to the magic of editing. My cooktop is disaster. I'm praying it doesn't show up too bad on camera. All right, so I'm going to try. Which one should I try first? Let's go with the divine meat soup. Oh, it's hot. It's very hot. And I want to get a little piece of chicken and some vegetables. Wow. I know I say wow a lot, but wow, it's really delicious. It needed a little more seasoning. I actually added a little bit more salt too. Italian seasoning. I almost added taco seasoning. I thought maybe I could make tortilla soup, but then I thought it would get rid of all the other subtle flavors. But you can do that when you're making something. If it's not just right, doctor it up, go with something. There's almost nothing you can't undo with another box of stock and another chicken breast. That is so good. And it tastes very different from my other soups. I think because of the pancetta and the ham, the diced ham, and it doesn't have Italian sausage in it. So when you're looking at making a nice hearty soup, this is a meal. It's got a lot of protein in it. I'll have the recipe and the macros down below. All right. Entry number 2. Oh, I almost spilled it. God. RJ, pay attention. Okay. Oh, it looks so pretty in the green bowl, doesn't it? Also lovely. Needs just a touch of Maldon salt on top. You know, you could sprinkle some of those scallions on top too. You are in control of your seasoning. If you have high blood pressure and you can't have a lot of processed meats, or you can't have a lot of salt, you have to watch it. You know what you need and what you can do and what you can get away with. This is a basic recipe for either of these soups. Taste-wise, they're kind of neck and neck. They really are. They're so different. It's like saying, do you want a grilled cheese sandwich or bacon and eggs? You know, they're very different. They're really good. And I'm going to have soup till the cows come home, because I'm going to put this in a bunch of containers and put them in my freezer. Thank goodness I have some space in my freezer. And I might even give some to my friends or my neighbors. But here's the thing. I wanted to do this battle and see what I could accomplish in under an hour. I did it. I had both soups made in under an hour. The only difference was the meat soup in the slow cooker needed to simmer for 2 hours. So that's the difference. If you have the time to make a soup at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for dinner that's going to be at 6 o'clock, well, then go ahead and do it. But if you're in a hurry and you're starving and you want to make some soup for dinner, my vote is with the broccoli cheddar. I hope this was fun for you. It was fun for me because I really didn't know how it was going to turn out. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Battle Keto Soup. Stay beautiful. I love you. I'm so excited that you're following me here. And please subscribe. Only half of my viewers are subscribed. And if you subscribe and hit the little bell, you'll know when I have a new video out. And I'm trying to crank out more content for you of great, exciting keto recipes. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for joining me. This is RJ for Keto Over 50.